I've been in restaurants and women are celebrating their birthdays and like, oh God, I'm gonna turn 40. Oh, please. The 20s are about figuring it out. You have to do what you have to do till you can do what you really want to do. So I was talking to a lady down here about contentment. You're not content at the 20s, it's about angst, and that's why they call it the young and the restless. You're discovering what you want. You don't even know what you want. That's okay. What you don't want to do is information for what you eventually do want to do. That's what the 20s are all about. And then the 30s, things start to settle in a little bit, solidifying your plan. You start to kind of maybe having a vision for your life. My mindset in the 30s, I was beginning to connect to my own source, the God source, more fully. My vision of God expanded beyond someone in the sky taking names and counting my sins. And you know, I came to the Oprah show, before it was called the Oprah show, it was called AM Chicago. I started that January 1st, and I was turning 30 January 29th that year of 1984. So the 30s were a fantastic discovery time for me. And then the 40s hit. That's when it starts to get good. Anybody in the 40s? First of all,
getting there.
40s. Okay, I forgot to do the 30 people. 30-year-olds, where are you? And you young 20s, where are you? Oh, you got so far to go. It's so great. Great. The 40s, you just start to get to that point in your 40s where you don't want to do what you don't want to do. And you start to set the real boundaries for yourself in your 40s. Yes, at about 44, it starts to warm up. Any 44-year-olds in here? Gonna be the greatest year of your life yet. Okay. And then the 50s hit. Everything that Jen, 50s, where are you? Hello. Here's the thing, Maya Angelou said this to me, and everything that Jen just said verified that. She said, baby, the 50s are everything you've been meaning to be. The 50s are everything you were meant to be and do. That's when it gets, that's you? Come on with it. There you go. And then the 60s, listen, I'm dead in the middle. And it is the contentment point. Now, we got Jen being the role model for what it can look like, or what it can be like. It's changed. It's not your mama's 50s and not your mama's 60s. Thank God for hair color. I believe in it. Somebody said on Twitter recently, Oprah, when are you going to start letting yourself go gray? Never. Lady Carol is my sister. Okay? All right. So I'm here, mid-60s, feel stronger than ever. I am well, content, and it's well with my soul, I tell you. Because I've earned the right to be just as I am. That's what I want for you to leave here today, having earned the right to be just as you are, wherever you are, at whatever age you are. And I've reached that moment in my life where the Derek Walcott poem, y'all know that poem? Beautiful, you should know it. When you leave here, Google it. It's called Love After Love. And he says, the time will come when, with elation, you will greet yourself arriving at your own door, in your own mirror. And each will smile at the other's welcome and say, sit here, eat. You will love again the stranger who was yourself. You will give wine, give bread, give back your heart to itself, to the stranger who has loved you all your life, whom you ignored for another, who knows you by heart. Take down all those old letters, love letters from the bookshelves, and the photographs, and the desperate notes. Peel your own image from the mirror. Sit and feast on your life. That's the dream I hold for you. And I hold that dream because my life, just like yours, has been marked by struggle and strife and miracles. My life is such a miracle, and so is yours. You know how I know? Because you're still here. You're still here. If you just think about all the stuff, the crap, the disappointments, the sadness you've been through, you're still here. You survived all of it, and you're still here. And you gave up this Saturday because you're still here and you want to get better. There's something inside you that knows there's more. And you're a miracle. I don't know your story. You do know mine. But it is more a miracle than you even realize. Because you know, I wasn't even supposed to be here. My mother and father got together one time. They never married. And they were only together one time. Once. And it was no romance. When I asked him, how did that happen, Dad? He said, she was wearing a pool skirt. That's my mother in a pool skirt. It's one of those skirts that when you dance or when you turn around, you can see what's under there. My father said, I won't see what's under there. That's what I want to see. That's what he told me when I asked him how I came to be. So loving. Just really made me feel so whole. Mom was wearing a pool skirt. I want to see what's under there. Okay? So I was considered illegitimate, a bastard child, unwanted in rural Mississippi. And this is me at 2.5 years old. And there's a picture of my mother and I in the front yard of my grandmother's house. There I am. And my grandmother's house, this is where I lived until I was 6 years old. That's why I love front porches now. Mine is better now. But this is where the dream happened right there, on the front porch. And this was a wood shotgun house where I slept in the living room, bedroom, where the fireplace was, the hearth, everything was just one room. And I slept in the bed with my grandmother until I was 6 years old. And I had this dream of living in a brick house. When I moved to live with my father, I pulled up on Arrington Street. I just took this picture last year when Stedman and I were there. And that's the house, my father's house. It was a brick house, but at the time, when I first went to my father's house, I was like 8 the first time. That house I came to at 14. So at 14 years old, I saw this house, and I thought, wow, it's a brick house. I finally get to live in a brick house. Now, I could put that house in my living room right now, but at the time, I thought, oh my God, I am moving up in the world. I got this brick house. And so I realized, oh, once you plant the seed of a dream or a vision, that seed grows if you're willing to work toward it. So when I was in Baltimore, y'all, and I'd started my second job in television, and I was doing a little show there called People Are Talking, and I had a producer named Arlene Weiner, who was the richest person I'd ever met, Arlene Weiner. And I went to Arlene Wiener's house. She was a producer on this little local show, and her husband was a local lawyer. And pulled up into Arlene Wiener's house, and Arlene Wiener, y'all, she had a Mercedes, and there was a BMW, and there was a Corvette for her son. I never heard of such a thing. I said, these white people are doing it. They got 3 cars in the driveway, and their children got Corvettes. This is amazing to me, having come from where I come from. So I go into Arlene Wiener's house, and I remember standing in her kitchen looking out the yard, and there were all these trees in the yard. I said, ooh, rich people got trees too. They don't just have cars, rich people have trees. If I ever get me some money, I'm not gonna worry about the cars, I'm gonna have some trees. So I planted this seed, and that would have been 77, 78, 79, when I was at Arlene Wiener's house, 1977, 78, 79. And do you know that a couple of years ago, I was standing in my kitchen in Santa Barbara, and I was looking out the window. Hi, Santa Barbara. I was standing in my kitchen looking out the window, and this is what I saw. Were the 6 trees that I envisioned from Arlene Wiener's yard. And I thought, whoa, hold on a minute. I went outside, and this is the picture. I don't show people this, but this is a picture from my front yard. So I could dream of the 6 trees. God had a bigger dream.